producerism. But after the mid-90s, scenario started changing. People could feel and see in the society that sometimes people with lesser resources, they performed and produced the results. So questions started in the minds of management gurus, in the minds of management coaches, and even top-class executives in the corporate world, that why sometimes people with lesser resources have started performing better than people with better resources. So a deep survey and research both started in this particular field. One Mr. Jeff Keller, a renowned management guru, he also did a deep research on this. He must have met more than about 2,000 successful people. Successful not just as a businessman, but successful in all walks of life. Successful as a businessman, as a husband or a wife, as a brother or a sister, as a neighbor or a cousin, associated with service organizations. He also met hundreds of failures and interviewed them. He read thousands of articles, heard radio programs on positivity, productivity, everything. And then he came to a conclusion and he writes a book. The book becomes famous. Once upon a time on the bestsellers list of New York Times. And the title of the book is Attitude is Everything. He gives reasons for it. And the principal statement that he puts forward in this book is, whether you have resources to perform or not, whether you have more or less resources, it counts less. What counts more is your attitude. How you perceive things in life, how you look at happenings in life, how you possess the ability to see opportunities around you, and how well you decide to perform with perhaps lesser resources that you possess. This is all called attitudes in life. Be very emphatically, and thereafter many such in this field, they put forward this statement that attitude is everything, attitude is the master key for all success in life. Whether it is business or it is social relationships, in our health, family, social circles, in all the spheres, what matters the most, and the one factor that can bring you success, the one factor that can bring you happiness, the one factor that can bring you satisfaction is your attitude towards your own self, attitude towards life, attitude towards work, and in general, attitude towards happenings in life. What exactly this attitude is? How exactly do we want to understand what attitude is? See, many of you perhaps might have done a safari in Africa, perhaps at the Masai Mara. They say there that in the jungles, these 5 animals are called the big 5. Many of you might have heard that name, heard that concept about the big 5. Just raise your hands if you have heard this word about the big 5 in the African jungles. Quite many of you. The big 5 animals: elephant, the rhino, buffalo, the lion, and the leopard. They are called the big 5 because of their size and strength. But now an interesting thing about this. Out of those big 5, 3 of them possess more strength and are bigger in size than the lion. elephant, rhino, and buffalo. But still, the lion is called the king of the jungle. Here is an interesting thing, that the elephant, the buffalo, and the rhino are more in strength and bigger in size than the lion. But still, lion is called the king of the jungle. Why? All these animals, they are bigger in size and possess more strength, but lion possesses more courage. Strength is an ability, courage is an attitude. Because the lion thinks that anything that moves, I can attack, kill, and eat. The attitude that lion possesses, no other animal possesses. And so the lion is called the king of the jungle, even when there are animals which are bigger in size and more in strength than the lion. So attitude matters the most. And attitude plays the role. Attitude creates opportunities and platforms. Attitude brings the final result. Another aspect of understanding attitude. We eat many products of milk. Yogurt, cream, paneer, buttermilk, butter, they are all products of milk, isn't it? Still, there are big differences in their market prices. Big difference in their market prices. They are all products of milk, but there are big difference in their market prices. What does that teach us? That even when we have the same human body gifted to us by God, and the brains, the emotions, the limbs to work, still the value that we attach to ourselves decides our value in the hearts and minds of people. And that value is the value of attitude towards life. Out of this 8 billion population upon this earth, some extraordinarily come out and rise above the norm. They have the same apparatus that we have as human beings of this human body. But they made better use of the attitudes, the positive attitudes, the high attitudes, the pious attitudes of life to score, to rise, to reach that level. So attitude, we understood, we tried to understand by this particular 2 examples, the examples I gave about the big 5 in the African jungles, lion is the king because of the attitude. Though possessing lesser strength, and though possessing a smaller size than the other big 3. And the other is this, all are milk products, but there are difference in the market price. In the same way, we all have this human body, we all have the brains and the hearts and the limbs. Still somebody performs better, it is because of the attitude. Attitude plays a major role. See, talent, intelligence and looks are God-given. But your attitude should be thankful to God to maintain that. Attitude plays this role. That looks, intelligence and talents are God-given, you have to be thankful, the attitude of being thankful. Fame and power and money is society given. You have to keep the attitude of being grateful to maintain it. And ego is self-given. You have to keep the attitude of being careful to save yourself from it. See and to what extent attitude plays the role in maintaining ourselves in the midst of talent, intelligence, looks, fame, power, money and ego. In all this, in the midst of this, our positive, high and pious attitude plays the most vital role in maintaining ourselves, carrying ourselves with all dignity, and being a part of community and society and humanity at large. So attitude is very important. Now let's talk practical. What is the first big attitude we all need to cultivate better? It is not that we don't have. I use the word we need to cultivate better. First important aspect talking practically is attitude of performing excellently at your workplace. How many of you agree? Raise your hands that we must definitely cultivate this attitude better. Raise your hands fully if you agree with this. All of you. The attitude of excellence at your workplace. We must always cultivate this attitude that whatever I do best. I'll put all my resources at play to perform and produce the best result. Isn't it? This is not just a human duty, it's a human endeavor. It's not just a human endeavor, it is a human dignity to give excellence to our work. In whichever sphere we are, in whichever faculty or field that we are working in, the attitude of excellence. Wherever I am, I will give my best. Results at the end of the process is chapter 2. Chapter 1 is I give my best. Yes or no? Give me a louder one. Yes. Chapter 1 is I give my best. Lamborghini car never advertises. You will never see a Lamborghini car advertisement on the billboard or conventional advertisements. Never TV commercials. Because they believe that we have done such an excellent job that those people who will use our products will not be able to stop themselves from telling his class of people to experience that. They strongly believe that our target audience are not the ones sitting around the TV set. Excellence in work, excellence in your product gives you that confidence of justifying it. Excellence in your work, from procedures till the final product is out, gives you the confidence. That is where attitude plays the role. When our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he built the Swami Gnanvatsaladas at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. How many of you, by the way, have been to Swami Gnanvatsaladas at Gandhinagar, Delhi? Here you are already here, all of you. It was inaugurated in the year 1992. And such a huge campus, a wonderful monument dedicated to Indian culture, to the teachings and preachings of Bhagavan Swami Narayan, and of the Sanatan Hindu Dharma scriptures for the betterment of humanity. So a team of saints and volunteers, they came together to sit and discuss out what are the best ways to propagate it. Because we wanted more people to better their lives visiting Akshardham, learning values. So many plans were devised, like putting on billboards, putting advertisements on the back of the city bus, even making name stickers for the children to put on the covers of their textbooks and homework books. Much was discussed. Everything was put up to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, that Swami Ji, now that we have come up with this wonderful monument, and we want people to gain from it. So these are the ways that we can attract people. We can advertise Akshardham for more people to know about it and more people to come in. Pramukh Swami Maharaj very patiently listened to all the ideas. And he was happy with the efforts put in by the team. But in the conclusion, Pramukh Swami Maharaj said, let's see. We have created this Swami Gnanvatsaladas with the sole purpose of bettering the lives of people. We have prayed to God and our volunteers the effort that they have put in selflessly. That whoever visits this Swami Gnanvatsaladas gains that knowledge of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, of the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad, Ramana, Mahabharata, and the Vachanamrita of Bhagavan Swami Narayana. And may they be inspired to live better lives. We have created this Swami Gnanvatsaladas for this purpose. And we have put all this selfless effort into it, without the slightest thought in our minds and hearts ever of gaining something worldly from this creation. Telling all this, Pramukh Swami said, so I am confident that whoever will visit Swami Gnanvatsaladas will not be able to stop himself or herself from talking about it to their relatives, to their friends, to their neighbors, to their colleagues at their workplace. And anything that goes out by word of mouth is the best going out, is the best advertisement for a product. Yes or no? And this is what really happened. So the first practical attitude that we need to learn is excellence in work. Always keep that attitude that whatever I do, even the smallest thing, to a huge project that I'm a part of, I'll put my best foot forward. I'll put all my resources at play. I will create the best that I can ever create. This excellence at workplace, excellence in work, that attitude, if kept lifetime, I'm using these words, if kept lifetime, gives you the ultimate satisfaction of work in this human life. Yes or no? And work satisfaction at the end of the work life, that when you retire, is one of the greatest satisfaction that all human beings ever want to enjoy and feel. Yes or no? So the first attitude to be learned is not that I'm talking something new. Everybody is trying for it. But today we want to learn in a way that we want to cultivate it better. We want to make those thoughts more stronger so that we walk on that path more steadily. So the cultivation of this attitude of excellence at our workplace. In the year 2001, when the northern part of Gujarat, Kutch, experienced severe earthquake, it was a devastating one. Hundreds of thousands of lives lost. And millions and millions and millions of rupees, properties, totally destroyed. It was 26th January 2001. At about 8:45 a.m. in the morning. Pramukh Swami Maharaj was a few hundred kilometers away from that place. Pramukh Swami Maharaj immediately called up our saints at the BAPS Mandir in Bhuj and inquired. The first question was, is our building standing or gone? Devastated. The saint said, with God's grace, it is standing here and we are inside it. Pramukh Swami Maharaj's next sentence was that, start the kitchen. Because after 3 hours, people will need meals. Where will they go for their lunch? And the saints and the local volunteers, they started on the very first day. That is just 3 hours after the earthquake, 17,000 people had their meals at the BAPS Swaminarayan Mandir in Bhuj. Excellence of work starts with a fast decision making, with a fast review of the situation on the ground, and all the experience needed to take a concrete decision. In the evening, he again heard the report, and commanded that keep the kitchen on, I am sending the groceries. And right on the fourth day, on 30th January 2001, Prabhu Swami Maharaj put a 100-ton vessel full of groceries and needed materials during such times from Mumbai at the port of Mundra. And in just 7 days, we saints were there. We distributed these materials in 509 villages of Kutch, Morbi and Wakari, all those adjoining districts and talukas, properly making the relief kits. For the next 45 days, more than 40,000 people would take their meals at the kitchen of BAPS Swami Gnanvatsaladas. Pramukh Swami Maharaj blessed, Pramukh Swami Maharaj commanded. The team of elder saints and volunteers, they executed. And to the most ground level are volunteers. They tirelessly work day and night. Now, the subject that we are discussing, excellence in work. At that time, the Israeli disaster management team, about 167 members of the Israeli army, they had come to Bhuj with a mobile ICU. Even we in 2001, for the first time, we saw a mobile ICU. Mr. Sholom and a couple of senior members of the team, they started visiting different camps, relief activities done by different organizations, and they came up to our camp and saw the activities. When they came to know that we are serving hot meals 3 times a day, he said, this is something we have never imagined of. How can you serve hot meals during calamities? It is just packed meals, and sometimes during floods we just, from the helicopter, from the chopper, we just throw on the terraces of homes. And you are serving hot meals. So he went inside the kitchen, he could see everything, he was very much amazed. What else do you do? He said, we prepared this relief kit. Can I see? We said, fine. And he started getting things out of the relief kit, one by one. Normally the relief kit during such calamities is like a family of 4 that we consider. 1 pair of clothes for everybody in the family. And the ration, that is the groceries for the family to go for 1 week. But when he was pulling out things from that relief kit, he could find a hair oil bottle, a hair comb, and a nail cutter. He said, these are not the material to be put in the relief kit. We said, we also know it. Then why did you put it? He inquired. We said that our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj was inquiring about the material in the relief kit. He said that there is about 1 week or 10 days have passed since this earthquake. People would have not taken a shower, not bath. So if they just put the hair oil in their hair and comb it well and cut their nails, they would feel a bit fresh. Mr. Sholom from the Israeli disaster management team, his eyes stuck at the relief kit. I'm a first-hand experience to this happening. His eyes got stuck and he said, can I see Pramukh Swami's picture? I said yes, and we showed him the Pramukh Swami's picture. The first question that commonly arises, from which university Pramukh Swami Maharaj has done his MBA? We said he is just 5th grade pass. Mr. Sholom was again surprised. But he could figure out, and he told to his team that we at the Israeli disaster management team, we had many sessions and many brainstorming sessions of how we can do better, because since last 15, 17 years of its formation, they had worked in many countries, at least on 6, 7 occasions, to help the community during such times. And they were doing it selflessly. He told that in our brainstorming sessions, we never could discuss. No ideas cropped up. Doing practical is chapter 2, chapter 1, at least an idea in a brainstorm, a throw in the brainstorming session of can we serve hot meals? Can we think in this direction in the relief kits? Nobody propped up this thing. Nobody came up with this idea. Why? because we are working from the heads, and Swami Ji is working and trying to help from his heart. Here is where excellence comes into play. Putting your head and heart both into your work brings excellence, brings total benefit to all the parties, all the stakeholders in that project. And then the rehabilitation started. We adopted about 9 villages and constructed more than 1,500 homes to give it free to the original dwellers of those villages. At that time, one Mr. T. Chino, he was the chairman of the Asian Development Bank, ADB. They wanted to partner with the government of Gujarat to help rehabilitate people. So Mr. T. Chino met the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi. And Modi ji guided them to one of the villages, the name of that village, Ukhadmora, that the government of Gujarat, in collaboration with the BAPS Swami Gnanvatsaladas, they have reconstructed the whole village, about more than about 80 to 100 homes. And in a few days, they will be dedicating it to the dwellers, the original dwellers of that village. So the ADB chairman with his team of about 50 people came there at Ukhadmora. Again, I am a first-hand witness. I was guiding him to the entire village. The first thing Mr. T. Chino, the chairman of ADB, did, when he went inside one of the homes, he opened the window and banged the window 3-4 times, checking whether it comes out of its hinges or not. Second thing, he opened the tapes. He could find water in all the tapes, from the wash basin to the toilet to the bathroom. He was a bit impressed, that you could see on his face. While coming back from the house, coming out of the house, he again banged his shoe against the edge of the steps. Whether it breaks or gets a crack or not, he checked it. But it was quite a good construction. He turned around to us, the saints, and he said, "This is Japanese quality work." Then the second comment that he put was that very rarely you would find such quality construction work in a rehabilitation project. Perhaps I am seeing this for the first time in my life. This is called excellence in work. Whether you do the project which is a personal one, whether you do a project which is your company or organization's work, or whether you do work which is absolutely a selfless service to society, all three should be equal to you in your minds, and you should be able to put equal resources at play at the highest level from your side to get the results. This is called the attitude of excellence at work. The attitude of excellence plays a very important role. But what is the highest level of attitude of excellence at work? It is not just producing results. It is not just executing the project wonderfully. Just because you are academically qualified, you have a whole set of system to work with you. Understanding, accepting the final outcome is also part of excellence at work. See, what we believe is that I should always be successful in the projects that I do. Belief is fine. But if the final outcome don't come our way, the understanding, the acceptance, and trying to keep stability and equilibrium is also part of excellence in work. Do you agree with me or not? Because you are not guaranteed to have success in all the projects that you do. Yes or no? And you know the reason behind it. The reason is very simple, because God has not signed an MOU with you. God has not signed a memorandum of understanding with you that, oh my little boy, you are going up on this earth, I am sending you there, and all that you do will go goody-goody. Life is like a sine wave. Ups and downs are part of life. So we all have enjoyed success, and all sitting here, we all have encountered failures or setbacks in life when it comes to work. Yes or no? Raise your hands if you say yes. Yes. And this is a yes by the 8 billion population upon this earth. Even the king of the jungle, the lion, does not always have a successful chase. You and me are part of the same system. Where does the superior excellence comes? When you have this state of understanding and acceptance. Shri Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells, Karmanya Vadhikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. He tells very clearly to Arjuna, and thus all of us, that your job is to perform your duty well. Results, Bhagavan Krishna says, I decide. Now sometimes this is difficult to accept. I'll prove you logically. I will ask you all 2 questions. And I challenge and guarantee that all of you will say a yes. Nobody will be able to tell a no to me. Shall I start? Question 1. Question 1. All of us have an experience that sometimes we planned well, had a good paperwork, had a good team to work at, executed well, put all resources in play, still we did not get the desired results. Yes or no? Yes. Give me a louder one. Yes. Question 2. Sometimes because of some time constraints or resources constraints, we could plan less, execute less, and we ourselves were not satisfied with the process. Still we got results beyond our imagination. Yes. Give me a louder one. Yes. Have you ever given a thought to this? Have you ever given a thought to this? That I am the same person. Last time I had the best thing that I did, and still I did not get the desired result. And this time I could actually put in something very much less from my side. Still I got results beyond my imagination. We have not given a thought to this, so we have not attained the ultimate excellence in work, that is satisfaction, acceptance and understanding that whatever has happened for my good. And this particular aspect that God has very clearly told us that your job is to perform your duty well, results I will decide. This acceptance is the ultimate attitude of excellence at work. And when you accept this, when you know this well, in and out, it has the power to give you an equilibrium state of mind. Otherwise, stress gets generated. Let me tell you very frankly that if stress is getting generated out of your work, we have not really mastered the art of work. Process perhaps we have mastered. We have not mastered the art of accepting the final result, the final outcome. And that is why we experience stress. Basically, stress comes from only one thing. Why is this not happening? Isn't it? Sometimes the other way. Why is this happening again and again in my life? Both ways we experience stress. But in both these situations, again you have to remember the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavan Sri Krishna's preaching. That you perform your duty well, I will decide the result. And make it very clear, he is not deciding the final outcome by the throw of dice. According to our past karmas, destiny, and many other things he takes into consideration, many factors he takes into consideration, and then he produces the final result. I just exemplify it. If you see your small child, 2 or 3 years of age, or your grandchild, from somewhere he gets his hand on the kitchen knife and he starts playing with the kitchen knife and you see, what the first thing you will do? Even if you are engaged in a conference or online somewhere or video conference or into your papers, an important file, but you see this, that my 2-year-old child or my 2-year-old grandchild, somehow he has got the knife in his hand and he is playing with it and he is trying to put that in his mouth. What would the first thing you would do? First thing is, you immediately throw anything that is in your hand, get up and run at the little child, catch his hands and get the knife out of it. Yes or no? Yes. What will then happen? the child will start crying. Because you took away the toy from his hands. He takes the knife as a toy. You know it is not a toy. It can bleed him. It can cut his fingers. Yes or no? It can cut his fingers. Even if he cries, he screams, then even the third house can hear it. Will you give the knife back in the little boy's hand? You will try to divert his attention, isn't it? Or place another toy in his hand. You will never give the toy, the so-called toy, in his hand again. Isn't it? In the same way, sometimes we believe that this success is going to be very, very sweet for me, but God knows that this success is not sweet, is a knife for him, so God does not allow us to play with that success. If I give him this success, probably he may lose humanity, he may lose morality, he may lose spirituality, he may lose certain good values of life, he may perhaps start developing certain bad, unwanted habits in life. When God knows this, he is so kind to snatch away that success that you have designed in your mind to take away from you. So that success is a knife for you. You took it as a toy. God knows it is a knife, so it doesn't allow you to play with it. This is the attitude of ultimate excellence in your work, accepting the results as God's creation. So don't take it so shockingly, okay? I could see you read from your faces. But oh my God, this means that many a times what I have thought as a success, perhaps it won't be mine. This is what the thoughts that started running in your minds. But it is a reality. It is a de facto principle, and it is going to work that way only. Because like parents to a child, God is parents to us all. This is excellence in work when it comes to accepting the final outcome. Another attitude that is the master key is stability. The most important gain of our life is stability in the midst of all happenings in life. At your workplace, in your relationships, in your social circle, in your family. What counts more is not prosperity. Do you agree with me? What counts more is not more the number of social connections that you have in your social circles. What counts more is not the number of parties or gatherings that you can throw for your friends. What counts more is that you can remain in a stable state of mind in the midst of any happening in life. This is the biggest achievement, isn't it? Because sometimes having millions of dollars and people lose their lives, they commit suicide. So prosperity does not help in bringing stability in life. The vice versa can be definitely true. Stability in life is the power to attract everything that is worldly and even everything that is heavenly. So stability in life is utmost important. That stability of life gives stability to family, gives stability to communities and societies, gives stability to nations and gives stability to mankind overall. And that is what is needed today. Stability of thought, stability of emotions, stability of actions, stability of expressions. It is what is most needed in today's times. How many of you agree with this statement? All of us. Stability is the utmost need of today's times. That attitude of developing stability under all circumstances is the attitude, is the master key, and that is what we all want to master. Again, it is not that we have not given a thought to it, and it is not that we have not worked upon it, but today is the time in this session that we want to make it more stronger. There are more than 1900 suicides every day upon this earth. That is more than 700,000 every year. There are more than 9,800 divorces every day upon this earth. It will touch the magical but unfortunate figure of 10,000 divorces every day upon this earth. More than 1,100 murders every day upon this earth. Imagine the level of instability of human mind and human emotion. That these are the times of fancier houses but broken homes. Isn't it? These are the times of double incomes in family. These are the times of double incomes but more divorces. These are the times of high-rise buildings and low-rise characters. So we need stability in thought, word, deed, action, expression. These are the times of broader highways but narrower viewpoints. These are the times when man has gone all the way to the moon and has come back, but he finds it difficult to cross the road and meet the new neighbor. These are the times of sometimes some good and steep profits in businesses, but shallow relationships. In short, the list is very long, describing the state of the affairs of the 20th and the 21st century man, but in short, you can say that these are the times where we have much to show in the show window and nothing in the storeroom. मतलब दिखाने के लिए हमारे पास बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, लेकिन मन में पवित्र विचार, शुभ भावनाएं वो कम होती जा रही है. Much to show in the show window and nothing in the storeroom. So we need stability. We always think of living a better planet back for our children. At the same time, we must always think together along with it of living better children for this planet. This sense of contributing energizes you to be more stable for the affairs of the society. So stability, the attitude of stability under all circumstances, plays a pivotal role in making this earth a heaven. And if with all this human intelligence and human knowing, if we can't do this, we'll be a failure as a human race. Wars are easy. Making peace is difficult. We don't want to fail as a human race, do we? Do we want to fail as a human race? Yes or no? We don't want to fail, and when we decide not to fail, the one factor that could really help us is deciding, that is keeping an attitude of absolute stability in the life under all circumstances and all happenings in life. This is how to keep that stability. Let's talk practical. Let's talk practical how to keep that stability. First thing, decide that routine happenings should not disturb me. We go in the morning into our washroom or we go for a shower, and even if the pouch of our brush and toothpaste is misplaced, we start getting disturbed. अंदर से घूम पड़े, क्या you? Simple happenings in life should not disturb you. Here you need to make a concrete decision. And stability comes by a concrete decision. Our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj was once here in New York. I'm talking of many decades back. The room in which he was sitting and meeting people, giving audience to people and blessing them, was a smaller one at Flushing in New York. So somebody said, Swamiji, this room should be a bit bigger. It should be a bit bigger, spacious. Pramukh Swami Maharaj immediately responded that small rooms are good, less power is consumed. Just a week hence, he was in Toronto where the residence was newly made, so it was spacious. And the same person said, Swamiji, rooms should be spacious, Pramukh Swami Maharaj immediately said, yes, rooms should be spacious so more people can be accommodated. Small room is also fine. Spacious room is also fine. It all depends how much fine you are here. See, these are all routine happenings of life and it will happen 2, 3, 5, 10 times a day. Don't get disturbed by that. And you start getting disturbed by these routine happenings, you will never be able to gain stability in the bigger happenings of life. And you will be a loser. And nobody wants to be a loser. Pramukh Swami Maharaj wanted to come up with a wonderful BAPS Swami Gnanvatsaladas for the wish of his Guru Yogi Ji Maharaj in London. The traditional Hindu mandir, out of stone and marble and granite, they could last for more than 1,000 years. So BAPS Swami Sanstha, under the leadership and guidance and blessings of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, we purchased a land in Harrow, a suburb of London. The neighborhood, they registered a case against us that these people would bang the drum and ring the bells till midnight and that would disturb our peace and privacy. We said this is not the thing that happens in mandirs. It gets closed by 8, 8:30 or 9 as per the season. So we will not be doing that, and we are humans. We also have working times, devotion times and rest times. Still the case was heard from both the sides. Signature campaign went on, and a judgment was announced that BAPS cannot come up with this project here in Harrow. Pramukh Swami Maharaj at that time was in India in Baroda, and our trustees and elders, they called him and said that Swami Ji, we have lost the case. I am talking of this in the late 80s, early 90s. At that time we were a very small organization. Today BAPS has more than 1,800 and runs and administers this, owns this 1,800 charity institutions, hospitals, hostels, schools, colleges, community centers, sanskar kendras, hari mandirs, mandirs and akshardham, one of which we are sitting here today, here in Robinson. 1,800 such units for the benefit of mankind in all aspects of life. We have more than 162 social, cultural, moral, educational, environmental, medical activities for the betterment of mankind. That is today. But more than 3.5 decades back, we are a very small organization. This was a big joy for us. It was a severe setback. And we were just stepping outside for a big project for the first time from our country. Imagine what would happen to a person who hears this. One of our elder saints, Puja Vikatsagar Swami, was right in front of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. He could see the expressions, the body language, and he first hand heard the words of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. When Pramukh Swami Maharaj was told this, that Swami Ji, we have lost the case, and we will not be able to come up with the project here, and it's a full and final judgment. The first words of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. See how he stabilized himself. This is what we learn from such wise people. The first words were, Pramukh Swami Maharaj said, Jevi Bhagwan ni ichha. It is let God's wish prevail. He stabilized himself. If we were at that place on the other end of the phone, le. The traditional Gujarati word that comes out of our mouth naturally when such things happen in life, when things don't go our way. And the second words, again in traditional Gujarati, mari gaya. આટલા બનાતા હાથમાંથી કપરાકાવી છૂટે તો કે મરી ગયા આમાં કપરાકાવી તૂટે બીજું કાંઈ ના થાય એમાં મરી ના જાય. The first words that Pramukh Swami Maharaj said was, let's put God's wish to second. He said that we tried our best. Now whatever the results, we accepted. So this is how to stabilize yourself. Why did it happen? Why did it happen? Okay. It shouldn't have happened. Now it has happened. Now tell me what you want to do. The things that you don't want to happen in your life, now it has happened. Now tell me what you want to do. You are not going to roll your sleeves and you don't have the capacity to roll your sleeves against the divine. Acceptance And by accepting, you stabilize yourself. How? Now listen carefully. How by acceptance of an unwanted result you stabilize yourself? By accepting, you reduce the power of that impact on you. What happens with you is 10%. How you take it is 90%. Reduce the impact of that unwanted happening in your life by accepting, yes, it can happen with me, it has happened with many people. You are not the first one. Let me ask you a very simple question, give me a clear answer. Anything that is happening with you which you don't want, is it happening for the first time upon this earth with the very first person you? Let me give it a terminology, it's a routine habit. And when it is happening with many people, you are not an exception. Again, the reason, MOU. God is not sending an MOU. And the third thing Pramukh Swami Maharaj said was determination. Determination has the power to stabilize you. The third thing he said, that we all sat together to decide, and we decided to come up with a wonderful mandir exhibiting Indian culture and tradition. When we have decided to do it, we will do it. Start searching for another land. Forget this case. This is called determination. A decision, a bold decision after an unwanted happening stabilizes you. But if you don't take a decision after an happening, it constantly pressurizes you. Accept it, it can happen, take another road. As such, we are all used to, maybe in India more, we are used to driving on the diverted road because of the road laws, civil laws. That is life. If the main road is closed for some civil work, there is some happening in life, there is always a diversion. Use it. You may not experience the same comfortability in the diversion road, but then it will drive you through. This is life. Accept the diversion, walk on the diversion, but decide to go to your destination. This gives you stability. So second is this attitude of stability under any circumstances in my life. It should not disturb you. A person for about 1 hour insulted Pramukh Swami Maharaj on face. It was out of some misunderstanding, out of some misinformation. And he was a highly placed political figure. He had no right to tell all these things to Pramukh Swami Maharaj. And at that time, Pramukh Swami Maharaj was suffering from 102 degrees fever. Still, Pramukh Swami Maharaj constantly looked at him and heard everything. And when you're scolding somebody or telling something to somebody, and that person patiently listens, you repeat it. Because you don't get the satisfaction of the impact. So that person repeated, second and third time. And then he was like, this person is not going to get a right. After he stopped all his harsh words, Pramukh Swami Maharaj just looked at the clock, at the wall clock. It was about 8:20 p.m. Pramukh Swami looked at the attendant saint and said, it's time for dinner. Please arrange the dinner for him and let him have a good dinner. What a stability. Just 2 years hence, in 1988, when Pramukh Swami Maharaj's 68th birthday celebrations were being celebrated there in Nairobi, Kenya, the same person, but for some reason or some happening, now he was a nobody. He was driven out of all the posts by the top political party of the country, maybe for reasons unknown to us. He was just a primary member like any other lakhs of people in that party. He came to know that Pramukh Swami Maharaj's birthday celebrations and a few thousand people would come together, so he wanted to launch his fundraising campaign because he knew the Indian community would join him definitely. So he came to the assembly. Thousands of people were sitting in front of Pramukh Swami Maharaj with this sole objective that if Pramukh Swami Maharaj can announce my project, can appeal for fundraising, I could get some good funds for my project. But the project was noble, of his NGO, of his non-government organization. When Pramukh Swami Maharaj saw him, when Pramukh Swami Maharaj knew that he was coming, and Pramukh Swami Maharaj saw him, stood up from his place. Pramukh Swami Maharaj walked from the center to the side of the stage to welcome that person. Pramukh Swami Maharaj caught hold of his hand, introduced him to all the dignitaries of the dais. And when it was his wish, Pramukh Swami Maharaj in his blessings, in this main assembly, in his birthday celebrations, Pramukh Swami Maharaj announced his project and appealed on a personal level that whoever finds it feasible and comfortable should definitely come forward and join him. This is a noble work for the society. Imagine the power of stability in life. When you are stable under unwanted happenings and circumstances in life, you possess that power. That stability gives you that power to be in an equilibrium state of mind under all circumstances of life. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did not look at that person at that time. He did not look at the insults that person had showered just 2 years back for 1 hour when he was 102 degrees down with fever. Pramukh Swami remembered nothing of this. At that time, Pramukh Swami Maharaj could see and he saw only one thing, that he has come for a noble project for the society. He and his Pramukh Swami Maharaj looked at the project and the benefit that he is going to give to the society and no other background. What a powerful equilibrium state of mind. Isn't this a stability that we all want? This is a stability that we all desire, that under all circumstances we be in an equilibrium state of mind, that we don't connect the dots, we just look at what's benefiting the society, the community, people at large, humanity and the world, and just focus on that, forgetting even personal hurts from the same person. So the attitude of stability in life is the need of the hour. Needs to be cultivated, needs to be strengthened. Otherwise, if you don't cultivate this, we remember things for years in our life. That day, 9 years back, in a family occasion, my in-law's first cousin, he or she said these words in the midst of these 5 people. Today again that gathering is going to come together and I have a golden chance to repay. This is a normal human thinking. And let me tell you, a subhuman activity. This is what happens with people. They wait for this opportunity. Forget you paying back or not. But one thing has become evident from this, that since 9 years you are carrying this garbage in your mind. So we need the attitude of stability. Anything that starts disturbing you, the first thing is to solve it. If you can't solve it, forget it. Only 2 things that you can do with things that are disturbing you. Either solve it. And if you can't solve it, you can forget it. How much baggage you want to carry? And you know, a 32 GB phone, if you already have filled in 31 GB, it starts hanging. Your phone hangs. Same is with the human mind. It starts hanging. What does that mean when the human mind starts hanging? You start behaving improperly. You start expressing a bit inhuman, and which does not at all dignifies you as a personality and character. So what is sugar to a diabetic person is loads of such garbage and information to human mind. What is sugar to a diabetic patient? It is poison, isn't it? In the same way, carrying all this garbage in your mind is poison for you. So the attitude of stability. And the third and the last thing, the attitude of giving a touch and adding spirituality to your work, relationships and health. In the conscious state of mind that we are living, these three are the most important avenues of life. Yes or no? Work, relationships and health. If you are fine with these three, you are fine as a human being. You live your life. When you add the element of spirituality, when you give a touch of spirituality, you keep an attitude that I want to see all these things, leave all these three things from the spectrum of spirituality. That attitude gives you the ultimate happiness, which we call bliss in life. Since Stephen Covey has written the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he met numerous successful people, numerous articles, XYZ on it. He's one of the most decorated management gurus and one of the most decorated books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that many of you might have read. In the last habit, that is sharpen the sword, that is the 7th habit, sharpen the sword, in which he writes about spirituality. He says that these people had a habit of connecting with their Creator. So what does that mean? That all the good habits the successful people cultivated in their life, all the positive thought processes people developed in their minds, and all the right kind of attitudes that these people could have in their lives under circumstances, wanted or unwanted, is one of the principal reasons for that was they connected with their Creator every day. Maybe through meditation, maybe through prayers, maybe through chanting the holy name. So that touch of spirituality and thus divinity to our routine refines our work, our relationships and our health. A leading businessman, Manubhai Madhwani of the Madhwani Group, with huge businesses across Africa, across Asia, and even in some parts of Europe. He would quite often, when come to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he was a well-wisher of the organization, seek blessings from Pramukh Swami Maharaj. He would always start with this, that Swami, too much tension, too much of stress at work, in business, because huge businesses across continents. And he was the chairperson of his empire. Every time Pramukh Swami Maharaj would tell him one thing, that Manubhai, whatever work we do and whatever amount of work we do, after putting all your resources at play, the basic understanding is that God is the all-doer. You take God as the all-doer, the final outcomes and final results are accept. We talked of this a bit at the start of the talk. Then you will be at peace with yourself. This is the touch of spirituality today lacking in hardcore professionals and business owners. Don't be by yourself. Make yourself fully assisted by the divine. The biggest mistake that the 21st century professional or business owner makes is that he wants or she wants everything to be by himself or herself. It's fine to keep that attitude of hard work, of getting results, of producing wonderful, extraordinary outcomes. It's good. But at the same time, what is salt to your food, which gives you taste, is the touch of divinity to your work, which gives you stability. So the touch of spirituality. Many a times this conversation between Manubhai Madhwani and Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and years later in the year probably, I don't remember, but must be around 2008, 2009, when he came up to Pramukh Swami Maharaj for blessing, he said, Swami Ji, I started practicing this thought very seriously from day one that you gave me this thought, you blessed me with this thought. And today now I have gained much stability because of this spiritual endeavor that I have undertaken, that I've started accepting things as they come. I try my best to come out of unwanted happenings. I try to enjoy the wanted happenings. But I try to live in an equilibrium state of mind, accepting that it's consolation. God is the all-doer. Pramukh Swami Maharaj at that time told Madhubai Madhwani that this is the key. So this attitude of spiritual touch to our work, relationships and health is the key to be happy. Otherwise you have just 70 or 80 year game. And 1/3 of the day you sleep. 8 hours you sleep, isn't it? You say I sleep for 6 hours, 6.5 hours by end, because when we were toddlers we were sleeping 10-12 hours, and when we will be old 80 plus we will be sleeping 10-12 hours. So the average will come down to 8 hours a day. So 1/3 of the day you are sleeping. That is directly, it says that 1/3 of the life you will sleep, you will be in bed, you don't know whether you exist or not. That means if you live for 70 years upon this earth, your 23 years are going to be in bed, you don't know whether you exist or not. You're just 90 seconds of brushing your teeth. Good 40 days of your life goes in brushing your teeth. And now I'm not going to give you the time that you spend in front of the mirror. See, what I mean to say is, we have very less time upon this earth. Accept this reality. We have very, very less time upon this earth. In the midst of this, we all want to live a happy and satisfied life. Yes or no? If nothing else happens in our life or through us in this human life, minimum thing that should happen is we must be able to put our hand on our chest and tell ourselves, yes, I live my life. आठवीं तो ओछा मुझे तो हुए नहीं, इतना तो मिनिमम होना चाहिए कि नहीं, और कुछ हुआ ना हुआ, satisfaction, put your hand on your chest and yes, I live my life. I had my life, I lived. Yes or no? Minimum this much should happen. This can happen only by one aspect, and that is the touch of spirituality in your work, relationships and health. This is the essence of all the Sanatana Hindu scriptures and all the religious and spiritual texts that are present upon this earth. So a touch of spirituality even in your relationships. And you know the biggest touch of spirituality in your relationships? To basically believe in the fact that the person that I have started liking and loving is not necessarily made for me. Again a jolt for you. I will fully endeavor to have the person whom I like and love to have with me lifetime, but if that person is not made for me, I'll accept it. Here comes the Sankhya part of spirituality. We know the yoga part of spirituality, that is attachment part of spirituality. We must also learn and master the detachment part of spirituality, that is Sankhya. Attachment is important for results. Detachment is important for satisfaction and happiness. So the new term has been coined in the management circles and top class management gurus that teach in their seminars, and that terminology is detached attachment. It's a wonderful thing. A wonderful theory to be understood. Detached attachment. Both are equally important. We learn both. The yoga part of spirituality and the Sankhya part of spirituality. Otherwise, even after having worldly success, now listen very carefully, even after having all the worldly success in your respective fields and relationships, if you don't have the touch of spirituality, you will not be able to enjoy those achievements. One Mr. Dr. Neville Hacker met Pramukh Swami Maharaj in the year 1992. It was a physicians' conference in Ahmedabad. At that time, we had the inauguration of the Swami Gnanvatsaladas at Gandhinagar. And we had the Doctors and Healthcare Professionals Conference. So we invited doctors from that conference as well. and about 30, 40 of them, about 5 or 10 of them who were speakers in that conference who had come from outside of India, they also joined on our invitation. One of them was Dr. Neville Hacker. When he met Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he posed a wonderful question. That Swami Ji, I am a very successful physician in Sydney, Australia. And since 30 years I have been practicing. I have good relations with my community and the community respects me well. They love me well. Because I have taken care of at least one family member of each and every family of my community. Because since 30 years he was there. But Swamiji, I have a question. The answer of which I am trying to find, but I am unable to get. The Pramukh Swami Maharaj said what? That sometimes I fail an ordinary patient. And sometimes I successfully treat even the most complex case. This happens with all the doctors. I don't get the answer for this. Why I'm the same doctor, same knowledge, same experience. Why sometimes I successfully treat a complex case and why sometimes I fail an ordinary looking case. Pramukh Swami Maharaj, out of all his spiritual wisdom, immediately blessed him. Pramukh Swami Maharaj said that if that patient's life, listen carefully, yeah? If that patient's life is supposed to end, because that is the only time that God and nature is given to him, even an ordinary illness treated by the best doctor would fail because his time is over. And sometimes if the patient still has time granted by destiny, nature and God, and even if it is a complex case, even an ordinary treatment would work upon him and he will be right in front of you after 10 years. Dr. Neville Hacker just could not stop looking at Pramukh Swami Maharaj's eyes and his facial expressions. He just wanted these whole words to go deep into him. And finally bowed down and said, Swamiji, today I have found the answer which I was seeking since more than 10 years. So, as I put it before narrating this happening, even successful professional career or a successful business life won't allow you to enjoy the full fruits of your achievement if you don't have a spiritual touch to it. I'm just into the last 5 minutes of my talk. So we need spirituality to enjoy fully the fruits of our even our worldly achievements. In the same way with relationships, as we started. At many universities here in the United States, they have done wonderful researches and sometimes surveys. One of the surveys at a university here in the United States, probably at the University of Miami, what advantage a believer has over a non-believer. See, everybody has the right to live their life and their thought process. No issue with that. But the basic survey was that what advantage a believer has over a non-believer, and practical advantage. After a detailed survey, they came out with a conclusion that, 3 conclusions. First, they write that we found that believers had better levels of tolerance and acceptance in similar situations than non-believers. Isn't this a big advantage when it comes to relationships? Tolerance and acceptance? Yes or no? So if after this seminar, when you go back home and your better half gives you a wonderful surprise of new curtains, that is a changed decoration, and shows to you, your response should be not just acceptance, a bit more than that. Come on. Your first response should be, give me the words. Fine, then wonderful, yes. Great. Wow, what a wonderful choice. I tell you with all confidence, you are guaranteed for a hot cup of coffee immediately. Take it lightly. What I mean to say is acceptance. That concretes, that cements your relationships within the family, within the social circles. So give a touch of spirituality. What is that spirituality in relationships? Better tolerance and better acceptance is called spirituality in relationships. Second thing this university people wrote, that those who are believers in God were found to have better self-control than non-believers. Isn't this again a very big quality needed for maintaining relationships? We talked of a figure called 9,800. Better self-control. More than 300 divorce lawyers came together in a city in America. Brainstorming sessions. What are the principal reasons of divorce among young couples? They listed out in the conclusion paper, and one of the reasons was overexposure to social networking sites. What does this university say in their survey? That people who are believers in God, they were found to have better self-control. Better self-control. That means you save your relationships, isn't it? By better self-control. And the third and the last thing they put forward is that those who were believers were found to have better perseverance and energy and enthusiasm to pursue their short-term and long-term goals than the non-believers. Isn't this a big advantage? So spirituality has the power to refine to better to give you more joy in your work, relationships, and even health. You read the Do Good Live Well survey of 2010. People who volunteered were found to be in better moods. They reported positive moods day long. They reported better responses to unwanted happenings just because of the strength of volunteerism that is giving selflessly back to the community. So that selfless service is also spirituality. Selfless service is spirituality. So spirituality helps in the sphere of work, relationships, and health. So, concluding, we tried to discuss on 3 aspects of attitude to make it a master key in our lives. The first attitude to be cultivated strongly is the attitude of excellence in work. Second attitude to be cultivated is the attitude of stability under all circumstances and happenings in life. And the third attitude is giving a spiritual touch, adding spirituality to our work, relationships, and health so we enjoy them better. These 3 attitudes, when they combine, they have the power to bring all bliss to us, our near ones, dear ones, and all the people that we associate with. So this makes attitude the master key. So again, going back to that one point. Buttermilk, paneer, cream, yogurt, all are milk products. But there is a big difference in their market prices. In the same way, we all have been gifted with the same apparatus, the brain, the heart, and the limbs. But the difference in our performance, difference in our satisfied living comes by what value we attach to it. And that is the value of positive, high, and pious attitude. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me.